What up, everybody? Welcome back to Modern Menace. Today we're going to take a look at the end of the BLM race grift.
Yes!
That's right. It's over. They're panicking. They're worried. And now they want violence.
What?
Big surprise, right? Let's get into it.
Daniel Penny is now a free man after a jury of 12 Manhattanites acquitted him in a case that has sparked public outrage over the subway chokehold's death of Jordan Neely, a homeless man whose behavior, according to witnesses, was violent and alarming on that crowded F train. Penny showing emotion for the first time in the courtroom since the trial began over a month ago, smiling as his defense attorneys embraced him immediately after the not guilty verdict. The courtroom erupting in applause. Neely's father turning to someone behind him, cursing in anger, saying, "Are you clapping when my son got blanking killed?" Protests quickly turning violent outside the courthouse, with one person arrested. The verdict comes after the court dismissed the first count of second-degree manslaughter after the jury had a difficult time coming to a unanimous decision. After 5 days of deliberations, they delivered the not guilty verdict on the second count of criminally negligent homicide. The defense team argued throughout the trial that Penny was justified in his restraint of Neely.
I wasn't trying to, injure him, but I'm just trying to keep him from hurting anybody else.
Prosecutors failed to convince jurors that Penny was reckless or negligent in his chokehold.
I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts.
Our call to action is to take care of each other. We can't rely on outside people. If we see someone asking for food, we have to take the responsibility to give it to them.
No.
Okay, so first things first. Daniel Penny, not guilty. All right? So we know that much, all right? I more so want to talk about the reaction from BLM, because this is awesome seeing them just flounder because they do not have the same political power that they had. And they've been kind of quiet for the last couple of years, almost as if somebody said, hey, you guys need to chill out for Joe Biden so he can, do his thing, and you guys need to stop acting all crazy. First thing we got to talk about is his father. Okay, this guy's a complete fucking bum.
Yes!
He was non-existent his entire life. There's reports that Neely was in and out of foster care homes 2 to 3 times. He was jumping back and forth. That means his dad was not even in his life when he was in his early teens. Second, his dad was thrown out of the courtroom because he was threatening people in the courtroom. So, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, now does it? Why is this guy sitting in court threatening people? Like, dude, you don't even care about your son. You were non-existent in his life, and all of a sudden now you care?
No.
It's funny how when a black guy is killed by a white guy, BLM comes out of nowhere. But you know what's even funnier? In Chicago this weekend, 14 people were shot. 4 people died. Where were they? Where was the outrage for the young black men that were killed in Chicago over this weekend? Yeah, silence. So this guy's been arrested 42 times from 2013 to 2024.
What?
42 times. And Alvin Bragg's prosecuting the guy that was protecting people on the train from him. But this guy's been arrested 42 times and allowed to just kind of do whatever he wants. Okay, so now I want to take a look at what these outrageous BLM people are saying, because it's crazy, man. They're literally calling for violence. And I was curious about this because I was like, how come they're allowed to just get up there and call for violence and say, let's burn shit down, let's attack people if they talk crazy to us? And Alvin Bragg is completely quiet. Why shouldn't he be? Isn't it a crime to issue threats like that, saying that we're gonna do all this stuff? If a white person looks at us the wrong way, we gonna smash his face in. The double standards are so crazy for these people. All they have to do is hide behind activism, and they can say and do whatever they want. Now they're panicking because the grift is over, man. America has moved on from the BLM grift. A lot of people have wisened up from this. The only people that still believe in this bullshit are white liberal women. Because if you look at the people protesting in New York, it's like 15 black people, and the rest is all white liberal women walking around with their stupid fucking signs, looking like a bunch of fucking idiots. So, yeah, of course, like, the white liberal women would be there just embarrassing everyone. But I digress. So let's take a look at what a former FBI agent had to say about BLM issuing these threats.
There. Now I want to move to the other huge story that affects really millions of people. Because if someone can't come to your rescue in a desperate situation because others are feeling threatened, if there can't be an American hero to save the day, we're in a world of hurt. Well, now we don't have to worry about that in the case of Daniel Penny. New York and beyond has been divided after a jury acquitted Marine veteran Penny in the death of Jordan Neely. He was that erratic person I was just describing. They were all aboard a subway underground with passengers who were panicking. Penny's lawyers, right after the verdict. Let's watch.
Daniel, can you tell me how you're feeling about this right now?
You going this way?
Can you tell me how you're feeling?
He's feeling great, guys, and it's just a great day. It's just a great day.
Now, there have been calls for the Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, who we know is soft on crime, far liberal. He ran on the words, "I'm going to get Trump." So did Letitia James, the state's attorney general. I mean, there's a thirst here on that side of the equation in the law, and it's very much liberal. So here were his words yesterday. There were calls for him to resign. He lost this case after making a lot of hay about it and bringing it in the first place. Quote, "As with every case, we followed the facts and the evidence from beginning to end. The jury has spoken now. We deeply respect the jury process, and we respect their verdict." He needed to come out ahead of all the protesting yesterday and say a few words like that and call for them to stay peaceful. He still needs to do that because not everybody respects the court's decision, the jury's decision. Protesters outside the courthouse yesterday could be heard inside the courthouse. And before the decision came down, I was asking, well, how does that affect the case? How long has that been going on? New York's Black Lives Matter leader with what really is a threat.
Stop begging this system to justify our lives. Stop begging this system for justice. When things happen to you, you step up and defend yourself. Just like everybody else seeks justice on their own, just like everybody else has vigilantes, we need some black vigilantes. That's right. People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Jordan Neely was threatening passengers aboard that subway. His words were, "Someone is going to die today." A very different reaction for many who are angry that the charges were brought in the first place. A lot of columns and opinion pieces being written. Here's a small sample. "Stop electing soft on crime radicals like Alvin Bragg." Another. "Daniel Penny's innocence and the shame of Alvin Bragg." Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett writes, "Bragg has done lasting damage." And another here, "Daniel Penny may have been acquitted, but the bad guys still won." The New York Post cover. "Enough is enough. Jurors reject Bragg's indictment of a man who protected subway riders." Yeah. Bobby, from what you're seeing here from an FBI perspective, I am curious, with threats on the ground, is the FBI working some of this right now? And look, we hope it goes away. We don't want to give it more oxygen to make it bigger, but we do have to cover the fact that there are threats out there, and they're based on race, and they're coming from a group that calls for black vigilantes against people who are not black.
Yeah, we think this is inciting violence, and that's a crime in and of itself. So I think you're right. I think hopefully, and I worked in the New York office of the FBI for many, many years, and I hope that they're following this situation, because these are people that are out there breaking the law. They're breaking the law just by inciting that violence. The violence doesn't have to occur, thankfully, for that to be a crime, and they should be charged with it. If Alvin Bragg was a responsible prosecutor, he would be charging these people. He'd be at least threatening to charge them. I think it's time to get rid of the immunity for prosecutors. The left talks all about getting rid of qualified immunity for police officers. I think you want to stop this. You want to make them really think about it before they bring a prosecution. You open them up to civil liability. When I was an FBI agent, I carried $2 million worth of liability insurance just in case somebody sued me. I think it's time for prosecutors to face those same types of penalties, because the Bar Association won't do it. The Bar Association is run by the left. They will not call these people to account. I think that civil liability on the part of prosecutors who abuse their office, it's time for that to happen.
Now, I got one more clip of that insane lady that has been just going nuts since this is happening, because I don't know if maybe a donation came in or something and she just saw the green and her eyes just lit up, but she's been all over this, claiming that anyone that disagrees with her opinion is racist, even black people, if they don't believe that this was a murder. And this guy who the paramedics were instructed not to help, not to do mouth to mouth, because he could have AIDS or he could have some kind of STD traveled through saliva. They were instructed not to do mouth to mouth. His heart was still beating. He was still breathing when Daniel Penny had let go of him. The guy was still alive. He didn't just kill him and the guy was dead. So he was still alive, and then the paramedics made the call, like, we can't do mouth to mouth to this guy. So it is what it is, man. But this lady they all invent this stuff in their head. So let's take a look.
So do you not blame Jordan Neely at all? I mean, for what he did? He deserves no blame from your perspective, right?
Did you hear the witness testimony?
I'm asking you a question.
Or are you cherry-picking the ones
I'm asking you a question. Do you blame Jordan Neely at all for his conduct?
If Jordan Neely was a white man, we'd be saying it was an opioid crisis. He was hungry. He was mentally ill. He had a muffin in his pocket.
I wouldn't be if there were other. What about the witnesses? Let's play again, just so we're clear on the race.
I'm sure you play Eddie Gibson, who begged Daniel Neely to stop.
Oh, again, but he stayed there throughout the incident.
Play the ones that fit the narrative.
But what's the narrative? There's black women who were on the subway. It was mostly people of color on the subway.
What about a white man during cross-examination who said that he was afraid of Daniel Penny, the one who poured water onto his head and said that he was afraid? He was a white man.
Yeah, okay, so...
What about the Latino man who was holding his arms?
I'm not the one identifying everyone by race. You are. You're the one who keeps telling... Why? Why do you have to? There was nothing in this case.
When you look at the FBI, when you look at when hate crimes happen, when you look at when injustice happened to black people,
but let's agree.
We don't get justice.
Let's agree to some... Look, I'm going to be doing a segment later this week on a missing black woman who has not been getting nearly enough attention.
Send it to me and I'll share the post.
By the media.
Absolutely.
Because I understand that, and to that degree, you have a fair point about the way sometimes the media and the justice system handles. But not in this case. This case, even the prosecutors conceded Daniel Penny had every right to go hands-on, and the question became, okay, when should he have stopped? I understand that.
The time frame on that from the DA's office was after 30 seconds. Can you not concede that Daniel Penny was a trained killer, that he not have his gray belt? United States Marine Corps is an assassin?
Sure, but
he knew.
Every Marine is a trained
because
assassin.
Actually, black Marines and white Marines have reached out and actually told us he went too far.
But going too far is different from criminal.
Let me break it down. A chokehold, a blood chokehold, which he did. You're only supposed to hold someone in that move for 8 to 13 seconds. You're not supposed to do it longer than 2 minutes. Why did Daniel Penny, when the train was completely clear, everyone was on the platform, why did he hold it for nearly 6 minutes?
Because he was scared.
A Marine is scared of of someone he labeled as a crackhead.
Again, is it not possible that Daniel Penny, when he's doing this on the spot, stepping up to help people of many different races, moves in and doesn't have a clock with him to decide when he should stop and when he shouldn't, which is why, in the end, the jury acquitted, right?
No, actually, Daniel Penny was trained very well by the United States Marine Corps, and he knew what the signs were. He knew when Jordan's body was slacking. He knew that Jordan was going to die. Why didn't you show his face, Dan? You're a good man. Of when he laughed and when the first response, I'm critical of the police. We know this, right? NYPD tried to save his life while they were doing chest compressions. Daniel Penny laughed and said chest compressions. A good person, a hero. One last thing. Why did he never ask about the well-being in that police department about Jordan Neely?
So
you're asking, a hero.
You're asking a lot of questions that are sort of rhetorical questions, right? But the ultimate question is, why did the jury acquit? Is it because they're racist?
America is inherently biased.
So the jury is racist.
Have you seen?
I'm asking you a question. No, don't change the subject. Is it because the jury is racist?
Yes.
Okay.
The jurors.
Even the black person on the jury.
Would you like to hear something from me? I believe that even black people can be anti-black. People are predeceived to see black people as a threat and as a victim because people called in. You heard the voice recordings when they called 911. Jordan Neely was in a chokehold for over 4 minutes, turning purple, which black people do in fact do that, and people still saw him as a harm. Even when his body went limp, he was still viewed as a criminal. So I'm sorry if I'm going to defend the needy, if I'm going to defend the poor. Why does no one talk about when Jordan Neely came on asking for water and being thirsty? Why does no one talk about...
Because they're talking, because that's not what happened right here. What happened right here, the reason he was held was not because he was asking for water. It's because he was scaring the heck out of everyone on the subway, which apparently he's done before.
Dan, anyone who has rode the New York City subway has encountered mentally ill people. Why are we not having this conversation? And we don't kill them.
But you know what?
We offer help or we get out of the way.
But more people wish people
them.
would step up more and help and stop people from doing it.
So are you giving a license to vigilantism? Are you saying that we should
not
kill
vigilantism.
Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying is it's very unfortunate. I think Daniel Penny would say it is really unfortunate that he died.
Why didn't he care when he was at the precinct? He showed no remorse.
Because he was defending what he did.
He lied in that defense, too. Do you know he told people, he told the police, who people love, that people respect the police's opinion, right? People respect what they do. People respect that honor. He lied in the 5th precinct. How can anything he do, can we just stop calling him a hero? Can we do that?
No, I can't. I actually do view, what he did as heroic. Thanks.
So according to her, you know, anyone that disagrees with her is a racist, and Daniel Penny is obviously a kung fu master assassin that was highly trained to walk the streets of New York to assassinate black people. And she's a UFC expert because you should only hold someone in chokehold for 13 seconds. And Daniel Penny obviously had him in like the perfect jiu-jitsu chokehold that like only professionals know how to do, right? Yeah, your grift is over. You're fucked. Now you're going to actually have to find a real job. Sucks for you. I don't know how an obese person like yourself could be such a UFC expert. But, you know, it is what it is. So, fuck you, you race grifting pieces of shit trying to cause more hate and division in our country amongst us. And fuck all these other race grifters out there. Like, your grift is over. It's dead. America has learned about your grift and nobody's falling for it anymore. So I'll see you on the next one. Subscribe or don't. That's what's up. It's whatever. And thank you for joining me for this video. Peace out.